Morning, welcome to an episode of the Mizuho Week Ahead. I'm Boon Heng, market economist at Mizuho Bank. This week's theme is Inaction is Action. Last week, the Fed went ahead with the widely expected rate hold amid revisions to economic forecasts showing stagflation risks. The tariff threat to inflation was viewed as a transitory one-off shock, even as uncertainty was still the necessary caveat. Meanwhile, the Bank of England's rate hold at 4.5% came with a hawkish inclination as dovish members changed their earlier preference for rate cuts to rate hold. Governor Bailey said that we have to be careful at this point in how we calibrate our response, as policymakers are still waiting to see what really happens in terms of tariffs. While the Fed and BOE are still in restrictive territory, the SNB has clearly signaled that their rate cut represent an expansionary impact, with the policy rate at just 0.25%. In Sweden, the Riksbank held rates at 2.25% but signaled an end to their easing cycle. Nonetheless, the governor said that they stand ready to act, but our best assumption is to stay on our current path. Amid this seemingly similar rate hold, it is perhaps important to be reminded about the ongoing economic impulse from their current stance, as well as their earlier actions on which tariff threats would be layered on. For example, in Japan's case, the ongoing impulse from earlier tightening by the BOJ also implied that the BOJ policy rate hold last week is certainly not inaction from monetary policy. For other G10 peers, amid the rate hold, we should also note the risk of accentuating already asymmetric inflation growth risk from tariffs. In EM Asia, Bank Indonesia also held rates last week, but understandably so, as they needed to provide an anchor of stability for the rupiah to prevent further spillover onto already slumping asset markets, with the Jakarta Composite Index down more than 2% last week. Nonetheless, despite the rate hold, the rupiah underperformed as pro-growth measures continue to impart fiscal slippage fears on top of a contentious bill which allows for military personnel to assume civilian posts in the government. Down under, Australia's job report came in weaker than expected as employment contracted. While older age groups not returning to work was seen as a key driver, one ought to think about the lack of replacements in a sign of caution surrounding economic activity or potential rebound in subsequent months. Looking ahead, Asia is set for a data light week this week, though we will not be short on action given the proximity to April 2nd. Singapore CPI on Monday will likely remain benign, but it does not point to outright easing prospects, as import prices of food show a resurgence while domestic policies drove disinflation. Meanwhile, Australia's CPI will likely prove sticky but remain inside RBA's range, such that the focus can remain marginally tilted towards growth concerns. All in, markets and policymakers are likely to continue active preparations, bracing for April 2nd. For more information on the events this week, please refer to our Week Ahead publication or contact your respective sales desk and RMs. And for regular notification on our market views, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button. Thank you.